I compiled everything you need to know to stop caring about what people think of you. And in this video, I'll be teaching you everything, like how to properly deal with criticism, how to stop feeling the need to please everyone, and at the end of the video, an essential method to disconnect yourself from the opinions of others. I've split this video into 5 parts, and we'll start with separating actions from emotions. Separating actions from emotions is an important first step because it allows you to have more control over your decisions. Whenever someone praises or complains about your actions, make a deliberate effort to not let that change your decisions. You're allowed to get upset when people disagree, and you're allowed to get happy when people do agree, but you shouldn't let those emotions influence your actions. To do this, make a conscious effort to disregard the emotions you're feeling and do what you said you were going to do anyway. By consciously deciding to not let your emotions change your decisions, you slowly reduce the influence others have on you and become one step closer to being free from their grasp. The next thing you should understand is the power of reframing rejection. Rejection happens all the time. People reject our ideas, actions, dates, etc. But just because someone rejects you doesn't necessarily mean you did something wrong. And you can even turn it into a tool that works in your favor. When someone rejects or disagrees with you, it could be for many different reasons. Maybe they don't fully understand the context behind your decision. Maybe they are wrong themselves, or maybe they just aren't compatible with you. Sometimes you might actually be in the wrong, but half of the time it will be on the other person. Because of this, rejection can be turned into a tool to help you in life. Rejection is like a filtering system, and it can help you figure out who's compatible with you and who's not. You don't even have to put in any work. People will step out of your way for you. The truth is, no matter what you do in life, there will always be someone who disagrees. Let them disagree and step out of your way for you. You don't have to try and change their mind. You just have to continue doing what you know is right for you. Next up, let's look at how no one else really cares. This is also similar to what I talked about in my previous video on small talk. Remember that embarrassing thing you did a while back? You do? Because I don't, and neither does literally anyone else on this planet. The truth is, everyone else is too busy thinking about the embarrassing thing they did to pay any attention to what you're doing. In psychology, this is called the spotlight effect, where people assume others are thinking about them a lot, when in reality, they're not. If someone noticed the embarrassing thing you did, they probably thought about it for 30 seconds and then immediately moved on to the next thing. But you might have thought about it for the rest of the day. The large amount of time you spent thinking about it might make it easy to assume that everyone else also thought about it all day, even though they didn't. This means that if you be yourself and others complain about you being you, they don't actually care about what you're doing as much as it might seem. This is why it's important to do what you know is right for you and not what will impress others. Since even if you do try really hard to impress someone else, all that hard work will only float through their mind for 30 seconds until they start thinking about something else. Keep this in mind whenever you're deciding what to do throughout life, as it can help tremendously with overthinking past decisions. Now let's take a look at how to tell real advice from noise. People love giving others advice, but not all advice is built the same. If you follow bad advice, it can actually do more harm than good. You should only take advice from someone if they've actually made it to where you want to be in life. For example, it wouldn't make sense to take advice from a poor guy on how to get rich, since he probably has no idea what he's talking about, or how that advice would actually impact your odds of success. This is because advice is almost always based on personal experience. For example, if someone tries a new food and they really don't like it, they will probably start telling others not to try it, without considering how different people like different flavors, the way the food was cooked and prepared, and whether or not they just got a bad batch. You can easily see this in action when you look at the reviews for things online. they will almost always be full of 5-star or 1-star reviews, with each person saying, "This product is amazing, you should get it," or "This is complete garbage, don't buy this thing." All of these reviews are purely based off the person's experience, with no attempt to present an appropriate representation of the product's true quality. It's not like each product that comes out the factory is either amazing or awful. The reviews are just bad, and so is most other advice out there. If you carefully vet each piece of advice that you hear before acting on any of it, you will save yourself tons of hassle. Now let's take a look at my essential method to disconnect yourself from the opinions of others, and that is to consistently emphasize internal validation. In life, you should always seek internal validation instead of external validation. This is because external validation is hollow and fleeting. If you receive validation from someone, they won't really care that much, as previously mentioned, and it also won't be something that leaves you feeling fulfilled. If anything, it might even leave you feeling confused, because some people will always move their goalpost and refuse to be impressed by you. So instead of trying to live up to what other people want, live up to what your soul wants. When you're old and reflecting on your life, you won't wish you impressed more people. You'll wish you did the things that you always dreamed of. Set your standards for success around your personal goals, separated from what other people tell you to care about. Imagine a world where you were invisible your entire life and no one knew you existed. What would you do? You probably wouldn't spend time posting on social media, trying to get other people to like you. You would spend time doing the things that you genuinely cared about, free from other people's opinions. This is exactly how to free yourself from the opinions of others, with conscious, deliberate effort to put yourself first. Because the truth is, no one will ever want you to be happy more than yourself.